Everyone, my name is Osiel, and today I'll be talking about price decision and the main focus today is Netflix pricing by me. Moving on. My first slide is titled Article Overview. It's an overview about the article since it should be a good review. The article's the article's author is named Todd Spangler, and the article is mostly like a survey-based article, and the survey was named Cowell and .co, or I think that was the sponsors. But it was serving about 2,500 Americans who use Netflix, and the main purpose was to see if Netflix, or for the survey, the purpose was to see if the users that had Netflix would pay if the prices of the plans would increase little higher. And this was more focused during the COVID-19 pandemic since mostly people were mostly on any streaming, sorry, any streaming platforms like you could say Disney, Apple TV, and now it's or the one mainly focused is Netflix. But the main reason for this article, it's different from the survey, was to see if Netflix could raise its memberships more higher, like the prices more higher, and not lose as much customers as they would hope not to lose. Moving on, my second slide was titled "Results and Numbers." This is mostly what they found. People who were using or on the app constantly, well, that this is like referring to around 7 or more hours in a week. About 47% of the members were willing to pay more during the year 2019, but around May 2020, 55% of these members were willing to pay, so it kind of increased. Um, yeah. After using these numbers, I think Netflix had the idea like, oh, if they're willing to pay this much, then we should upgrade or we should like increase the prices, and they did. And the main point for all this, like the survey and the results, was for to see the majority vote of how many members would accept the prices and how many people would like cancel their plans or just like not use Netflix at all. Moving on to the third slide, I titled it "Question of the Day" since it's mostly the question. Why would subscribers accept these changes? And that's mainly the question we should all ask ourselves, or the main question that should be answered from this article. Um, During the pandemic, people were more on the internet and were caged like inside their homes swimming. That's why I put caged. They were not actually caged, but it was more of like a saying since people during the pandemic, we couldn't go outside, so they were in their house and they couldn't like 24/7 mostly, but they couldn't go out since the sickness. And for this, Netflix became one of the most popular streaming apps from other applications. These platforms were like Disney, HBO Max, Apple TV, Amazon Prime. But even if they had most of these competitors, Netflix made a push and was still one of the most popular and heavily used during this time. It was stated about $15.4 billion was spent during 2020. So people, well, the consumers, the buyers mostly, they, well, in total, they wasted 50.4 billion. I think there were more, but from the survey, $50.4 billion was spent on those people. That's really surprising. And I think it's surprising. But the main reason for this was to see how many users could could see like, oh, this is entertaining, this could benefit me, and people start seeing how like the worth of having a subscription during the time and the content it displayed. So I think if they thought, oh, could this benefit me? Oh, could this entertain me during the pandemic? Should I buy it? Moving on to my fifth slide. Past results of prices increasing. During 2019, the normal plan went from $10.99 to $12.99. The increase was like $2. I think it was like 18% if I do the math right. After this, people decided to cancel their subscriptions. This was temporarily, so like it was like, well, in my eyes, it's like $2 of an increase. But then again, during the pandemic, I mean, barely anyone had jobs, and like who would pay that much? But right now, I think people would pay that much. since I mean the sickness is not over or like disappeared, but like it's kind of controlled. The total revenue was about 28%, and for Netflix, and for the subscribers, they grew from about 20%. Although some subscribers canceled, the revenue for Netflix grew more. So this meant that Netflix made more money off of subscribers. Moving on to my sixth slide. I titled it "Revenue Impact Up or Down." To start off to start off this slide, the meaning of it is basically the total amount a business basically makes from sending services or goods before any deductions like spendings or like demands, and they're like, oh, let us upgrade this, you know. If people stay, the revenue increased, meaning if a subscriber stayed, they paid like, I guess, well, if they increased like 12.99 for their membership, that means the revenue increased. If people would lose money, this meant that the prices changed. So it's common sense, honestly. And if there are larger subscription amounts than the revenue, then I mean the revenue will be high, and it's not the opposite. And if it was the opposite, then the revenue will be low, and that would mean subscribers wouldn't be presented, meaning not a little to no one would pay for the plan. In simple words, if a demand plays into hand, revenue will increase. So meaning if people demand subscriptions or plans, like if they want, well, I gotta watch this or I want to watch this, you know, that means the plans will like start selling, and then that would mean the revenue will be high. So for every subscriber, the revenue gets high. If a subscriber leaves or doesn't pay or just cancels their subscription, then the revenue go low. So high means subscribers, or not subscribers, but like people who pay the plan, and low would mean little to no one pay. For my last slide, the conclusion. Revenue becomes higher due to more more subscribers, subscription, I think subscribers, but more people who pay for, oh, members, I'll say members then, for more people who pay the plan or who stay. So that would mean if people stay or new customers come, that means the revenue goes higher. The survey basically presented strong information about how during 2019 or other years also, when subscribers or more, members of people who pay for Netflix were priced during the years. There's some downsides like customers being price sensitive. That basically means that people are aware, or the customers are aware of the price, and they're not agreeing. They don't have like agreement, which means people will end up not paying for it and just like leaving. So if they're not price sensitive, that means it's good, and that people were willing to buy it. In conclusion, I believe that if plans increase, then it's good for the company and all, but they have to be reasonable prices, you know? If the prices are reasonable, then new or like current customers wouldn't want to leave, and they would not cancel the plans, and they would just be like, oh, this is entertaining me, this is benefiting me, I should stay. And Netflix did make a profit, honestly. But if they increase too much, then this would most likely mean that they would lose customers. So they found a way to like the $3 increase. By making that increase, they profited more and they kept customers. So our customers also have to understand that if the business isn't doing well, or like during the pandemic, not only them, they were caught like affected, the business was also like going through hard times since people didn't have jobs, and that meant like little money to spend. And if they had that, if they had little money, then that would mean less people would want to pay for the plans. So I think it depends on the business and how much they price. But then again, if the customers are reasonable, like, oh, we should help them, we should support them, or hey, would this benefit me? So it goes either side. But I think in the end, I think businesses have to understand, hey, what's good for the customer, or if it's like available to them, or if it's affordable for them. But I think Netflix did a reasonable price, so I think that customers should not obey, but like think it through and then be like, oh, this is affordable. This will entertain me, and I think it'd be good to have, you know. But I hope you guys learned something from this presentation, and thank you for listening. And have a good day, or night, or evening, or morning, actually. But thank you.